Hello everybody and welcome to James Hennon on YouTube. Today I've decided to do an impromptu reading using a 6-card spread that I've come up with. It's not going to have any particular theme to it or question. It's just generally going to be a timeless reading. So you can take basically what resonates from it and obviously leave what doesn't. And just to see if it's helpful for you. Perhaps I would say a time frame of up to 3 months or so in advance. This will be relevant to all star signs. It's not specific to any star signs, and again it's not specific to any time frame. So I'm going to be using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, which is quite a colourful pack. I don't know if you can see different images. It is based around the Rider-Waite, so that's the generally what I like to use most of the time, but I do use JJ Swiss and the Marseille packs from time to time. But for this one I'm going to use these. So I'm going to give them a shuffle even, and I'm going to basically just use the falling cards technique. So I'm going to ask, first of all, the first card that I'm going to pull is going to be for the current situation that you find yourself in at the moment with regards to what's going on. And you just have to take what is relevant. I've got the whole pack there. What's relevant? Right. Okay. So I've got a card here. So we have got Queen of Swords. So basically, currently, what's going on around you at the moment is that you're probably finding yourself in a position of discernment, looking at what is going on in your life and perhaps taking a more of an honest look at things, forming an honest sort of perspective of the situation, maybe needing to be brutally honest with yourself or perhaps someone closely connected to you, which could symbolise, if I just get this a bit closer, it could symbolise a boss that you may have an issue with, or a partner at home, or somebody within the family that you may need to be honest with. Or it may just be a case that you need to be honest with yourself in regards to where you find yourself. Now, I also feel that in a current situation, this would be trying to get clear or a better understanding of what is going on and what you actually want to hopefully achieve going forward. So it's definitely a reflective sort of period for you, but in a sense of being honest and truthful with what matters the most to you and what you really want to hopefully achieve going forward. So she's got the sword there, of course, in her hand, which is the intellect, which is the mind. So she's considering her thoughts very carefully and considering what she may need to cut out of her life that might not be serving her purpose. And as I say, to be brutally honest about the kind of direction that she would like to hope that things could take going forward. So that's the first card for the current sort of situation. So that's what you're currently sort of going through. It's a kind of assessment process at the moment. So let's have a look and see what assets that you've got going along with this particular situation of importance that you find yourself in. So we're going to get a look for an asset card. What assets do we have, please, to go along with the Queen of Swords? Right, okay. And we've got the Fool. So that means that really the asset, the main asset you've got with whatever it is that you're reflecting on is that, yeah, it's time to maybe consider a new path, a new chapter in your life. And that's maybe where you're being honest because with yourself or others, because you need to look into the possibilities and opportunities that a new path might offer you. And it may be a chance for you to leap into something a little bit different from what you're usually accustomed to. But it's this willingness to explore a new path. And the asset is that a new path may be good for you at this time. A new beginning may stir things up and might just be what you need. It does show that obviously a cycle probably has come to an end in your life. And now it is time to embrace a little bit of uncertainty and just to be willing to, as I say, to take that leap of faith. But the asset is that it is the right time to consider new options. So now we're going to see what the current sort of thoughts and focus, the current actions you're considering and focusing on with regards to this particular matter, and with the possibility of a new beginning. Right, what have we got here? So we've got the Hierophant. So this, for me, in this position, means that you are considering the facts, all the facts and information of this particular situation, and trying to gather as much information and make sense of this information as much as you can, because there is a need to understand things better, and there may be a need to seek advice or additional information that can help make things clearer for you. This normally stands for the seeking of information and guidance. So the Hierophant is saying that although you want to follow a conventional and traditional path of what you're looking to do, you may find yourself in a position where you need to gain a little bit more insight and information to help you, probably to reassure you more than anything with what you're trying to do, because what you're trying to do with the Fool is start something that you probably don't know an awful lot about. So you may be trying to take a leap in a new direction that you're not sure about or confident about. Although it's exciting to leap into something new, you may need to consider with this Hierophant getting the information you need. And as I say, this can come from somebody who's in a position to advise you. That doesn't necessarily have to be somebody in person. This could come from a book or an online source, even could come from something like YouTube or Facebook or anything, or something that you research through Google. So it's about putting yourself more in the picture, and that's what you're going to be considering, and that's what you are considering at the moment, especially from this honest perspective, gathering information, because the Queen needs to have that understanding before she can commit to anything. So this is basically what you would be considering doing now. So now we're going to move on to the next section of this spread, which is the main objectives and actions for you to consider with regards to this situation. I'll see how the time's going. I might clarify a few of these cards if it's not going too far. Yeah, so the main actions are the Seven of Pentacles. So it's saying that patience is very much important with what you're trying to put in place. You need to take stock of this situation because you are at a crossroads. You need to assess basically more about what you're trying to do. You need to take stock of where you are and where you perhaps would like to be, because you've already achieved quite a few results previously, but have you achieved everything you've wanted to achieve? And if the fact that we've got a Fool here suggests that maybe you haven't, and maybe you are focusing on the solitary pentacle, which is the new opportunity, but of course it has to be evaluated and assessed properly, and you have to take stock of what it is you're hoping to do before you act on it. So patience is needed in the short term, especially with the Hierophant being there, because you need to know more about what you're trying to do, and it could even involve extra learning or study or research to put you in a more comfortable position. Of course, the Seven of Pentacles often says that maybe the best action to take is no action until you're certain, until you're really clear about what you really want to do within this particular matter, because it may just mean that you need to adjust where you are, or it may be the case that you really do want to assess the prospects of taking a different direction and introducing something new to the equation. But again, as this figure is pausing, leaning on this rake, in other words, he's taking stock of all the hard work he's put in, which is what you're doing, and then assessing, well, where do we go from here? You know, do I need to do A, B, or C? What do I need to do to get myself more in line with what I feel is true and right for me? So it's very much, again, a reflective card, a bit like the Queen of Swords, which is, again, a card of reflection of giving yourself time and patience to look at things properly and clearly before you obviously commit yourself to an action that, if you haven't thought about it properly, you might come to regret. So the objectives are: get yourself clear on what you're doing, take your time and reevaluate and take stock of things, and be patient, because sometimes things take a while to come to fruition. It may be a case that you are labouring under misconception and you need to adjust things, or it may just be that you need to, as I said, evaluate the situation because you definitely do want to make a new start. But either way, it's not a time to take too many risks. And finally, we're going to pull a card for the helpful and beneficial opportunities and possibilities within this situation that can help show you what you can draw on around you in the capacity of opportunities and possibilities that could be helpful. There's too many falling out there. I'm not going to take all of those. That could be helpful for you. So let's just have a look and ask for the helpful and beneficial opportunities and possibilities with regards to this particular situation. Okay. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So this just reinforces the potential that we saw as an asset of taking a new path. So although it's a little bit scary and there's a lot of things that have got to be assessed, the Ace of Pentacles is saying that there is going to be an opportunity. If there isn't already one now, there is going to be an opportunity or an offer for you to consider. But it will take some assessment. The likelihood is that a new approach is going to be better for you, better suited. Now, going back to the Hierophant, this could suggest some new learning that could take you down a different career path. Or if it's not career related for you, then it could just be some practical adjustments that could work wonders, and a new approach to a particular situation and so forth. But the Ace shows a new pathway opening up, and as a helpful and beneficial opportunity, it's something that offers longevity, or longevity, should I say, and the possibility of bringing in extra stability and security where you most need it. So it's pointing towards a new beginning, a new concept or a new aspect of your life that is going to be helpful for you. So what I'm going to quickly do is just try and get some clarification on these sections so that we can make a little bit more sense of it for you. So I just want to clarify the Fool card first of all for the assets. Just clarifying the Fool, please. Oops, Daisy. So yeah, we've got the Page of Pentacles here. And that suggests that, yeah, a new direction is very good. But it's one that needs to be cultivated and developed carefully. And again, it may involve some additional study, learning or research to help you. And it's something that you need to nurture carefully and be patient with it, because it has the potential, the pure potential, to develop into something more tangible, like an Ace of Pentacles or perhaps a Ten of Pentacles further down the line. So it's just saying just to be a bit cautious and patient at the moment, because there is a potential for something new coming into your life, whether this is related to career or finances. I mean, we're getting a lot of Pentacles, so I'm tending to feel that although I didn't have a theme for this reading, it is more physical, practical, mundane and financial career based. So perhaps that would make more sense than the sort of romantic reading as such, or love reading. But it says that things are coming to fruition. So the asset is that there is a potential opening coming up for you. And as long as you apply yourself correctly for this, then it does have enormous potential. So we're going to quickly clarify the considered actions being considered and focused on. Clarifying the Hierophant, please. Give us a little bit more information on how this Hierophant plays out. Right, okay. Yeah. Seven of Swords. So this is really, for me, is talking about the fact that, yeah, there needs to be a rethink. You need to be re-strategizing, rethinking things. Being prepared, as I said, to get the information you need to do what you need to do. Where you're lacking in understanding or lacking in information, this is where you need to be prepared and willing to rethink things. It also symbolizes that there is a need to start facing up to where you may be vulnerable or maybe not willing to take the steps. What might you be putting off? Is it because you have concerns or doubts or worries? What are you trying to avoid or run away from? Which the figure is doing here. So you need to obviously gather the information so you can re-strategize, and then be willing to take the responsibility necessary to start putting these plans and actions into place. But again, it's a reflection card because it's 7. It's reflection, giving yourself time to self-reflect, think about what you're doing. And the Hierophant will give you the answers, which is what you're considering doing. So let's have a look and see, just clarify the ultimate objectives and actions. This is the 7 of Pentacles, clarifying the 7 of Pentacles. We have a card. And it is the Knight of Cups. Brilliant. Which to me suggests that the main focus here is going to be on following your heart, what you really want to do, especially again with any creative or artistic ventures, projects or goals that you have. Well, particularly within this situation, it's all about finding the right actions, being prepared to take the actions that you need to take to start getting yourself where you want to be, and following what is ideally your quest, what intuitively means a lot to you. It also suggests with the 7 of Pentacles that you should consider any options or offers that come to you very, very carefully, and pause and reflect enough to make sure that the offers, if it's a work-related situation or a financial situation of importance, make sure you reflect before you act. Don't take the offer and think, yeah, I'm going to jump in straight away with it. Make sure that you know all the facts and information and you're sure about things before you do so. So there could be a warning there with any actions, but overall it's about following your instincts, first impressions, intuition, and obviously following your quest, your heart. Where do you want to take this? Where do you want to go with this situation? Because we know the Queen was talking about needing to be honest with yourself, and that's logical, but this is intuitive feelings, following your feelings, getting the two in sync, your thinking and your feeling, and making sure that you're following these as you start to commit to any actions that you take, because the Knight will obviously do what you ask him to do. He sets in motion, because Knights are about movement and action. That's what they symbolize. The King gets the Knight to do the work. So the higher part of you, or a certain part of you, will give instructions to this Knight. So it's about you following it, following your quest, following your vibe, whatever it is you want to do, especially if it is creative or artistic in nature, or something that is a goal of importance to you, especially emotionally. So we're just going to finish off by clarifying the Ace of Pentacles for the helpful and beneficial opportunities and possibilities with regards to this situation that we're looking at here. I've got one more card just to help clarify this. Ace of Pentacles. Can we clarify the Ace of Pentacles? Well, we got what looks like 2. No, we have got 1, sorry. It's the Ace. It's the Ace of Wands. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just trying to keep the glare off, because the trouble is where they're gold tinted, it does glare a little bit. The Eight of Wands says, yeah, this is time to set things in motion. Once you've decided what you want to do, the timing is ripe for forward movement and being able to start to communicate things clearly. Now, with the Knight of Cups and the Eight of Wands together in a reading, there's going to be messages, there's going to be offers and opportunities. So whatever it is you're trying to do, you are going to be approached, things are going to start to move, and the opportunity, especially in the near future, is going to be about moving things forward a bit quicker. Now I'm going to have a look and try and weigh up. I would say that because we've got 2 7s, that kind of looks like July for me. We're in March, the end of March, so April, May. Yeah, I mean, it's looking as if probably June, July time is going to be a good time to move on things, especially, or you could say the next 8 weeks or so. But you can expect important information and communication that could point towards a potential offer or opportunity to explore new options or take a new path. So for those that are looking for a new employment, there could be an offer by sort of June, July time. For others, it could be about investing in a more long-term future by studying and learning, researching things, and developing your career, or if it's a practical matter. But it's making sure that you look into everything correctly and properly before you commit to pushing things forward with the eight of wands. But I see that there would be probably a 2-month period, or maybe slightly less, where you'd be evaluating things carefully, looking into all the options, taking everything into account. And where you feel that you don't have all the information that you quite need just yet, the cards would suggest that getting the advice you need, if you need to re-strategize, do so. But going over things and making sure that you're following your heart and your intuition instincts with what you want to try and achieve. But the omens look good. There is a lot of self-reflection cards here, so it's not something you want to rush into. But the omens are very good, and I would say that by June or July you'd be in a position to make some changes, probably more along the lines of something new, because you've got the Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and the Fool. So it's something possibly that you would want to consider leaping into or taking a leap of faith with, but only when it's a calculated risk. It's not something that should be steamrolled into. You shouldn't rush into it. So I hope you find that helpful. I'm going to do more of these videos. That's the idea anyway. But this is the first one. It's unplanned, and it's completely off the top of my head. So I hope you found it helpful and it's useful to you. If so, please feel free to drop a comment below in the comment section and give us a thumbs up if you find it helpful and useful to you in any way. And if you haven't already subscribed and are enjoying the videos, please hit the subscribe button. So take care. Until next time, bye bye.